Good morning, this is Kamera again. We're on day number 107, 1 King chapter 12 through chapter 14. King Solomon is dead. As we saw, he was a great king, and then he eventually turned his back on God. God says, I'm going to divide the kingdom. However, I am going to leave the children of Judah to the lineage of David. And so his descendants will always reign in Judah. Not the other 10. They're going to someone else. And so now we have Rehoboam, who is now, he meets with the leaders of Israel in Shechem, and they make him king. But this is the thing, though. Children of Israel, the leaders, they approach Jeroboam and tell him, listen, your father was hard. Your father was hard. He was a hard laborer. He was heavy with the taxes, and we need you to take it down a notch. Rehoboam says, okay, Give me 3 days to think about this. He goes to the older men who counseled his father, and they tell him, listen, if you listen to them, they'll be your loyal servants. Rehoboam didn't like that, so he goes to his younger friends, his friends who were younger, his age basically. And they tell him, dude, seriously, they tried you like that? Tell them you're going to be worse than your father was. So 3 days later, meet with the men again of Israel. He speaks to them harshly, and he tells them, you think my father was hard? I'm going to be worse than he was. My father beat you with whips. I'm going to beat you with scorpions. Children of Israel ain't playing with that. They're leaving. They're basically saying, down with the dynasty of David. Really? So what happens when you don't listen to wise counsel? And they were not happy with that. They decided, the children of Israel, they leave, go to their place. They make Jeroboam king of Israel. Yes, they did. Now get this. Before that, was it before that or after? Rehoboam sent the guy who's in charge of the labor force. I think his name was Adoniram, something like that. Anyway, please read it. I'm sure I'm botching up these names. Read it anyway, because I know I'm missing some things, guys. So look, the guy who's in charge of the labor force, he goes. Try to restore order, right? People of Israel are not having this. They stoned him to death. Rehoboam hears this. He flees to Jerusalem. And I believe now they made Jeroboam king. Jeroboam was told that he was going to be king over 10 of the tribes. And now he is. Jeroboam, remember, he was just a commoner, basically, who was over the labor force. Anyway, now he's a king. And so, get this, though. This is the crazy part. Already, Jeroboam is forgetting who placed him in position. Guess what this dude does? Instead of the children of Israel going to Jerusalem, to the temple to praise and worship God, doing what they're supposed to do. Guess what Jeroboam does? Because he's afraid that if they go to Jerusalem, they might turn on him, go back to Rehoboam and kill him. Dude, who put you in position? Why are you scared? Seriously. Anyway, he decides to seek counsel. His counselors tell him, build 2 golden calves. Let them worship that. What Jeroboam do? Build 2 golden calves built. And tell the children of Israel, this is the God who delivered us from Egypt. And they worship these calves. He built these shrines and everything. The festivals that they're supposed to have that God told them to honor for him, he starts to imitate those. Right? This guy, he even appoints priests over these shrines. These idols, these altars he's building. Really? Seriously? Yeah, that's the Jeroboam who was the first. I'm not going to say first. What is he? He's basically like the 4th king, but he's just king over Israel, not Judah. Judah still has Rehoboam. Rehoboam is from the lineage of David, whose father was what? It was David, then there was Solomon, and it was Rehoboam. Okay. Unbelievable what Jeroboam has started doing and causing the children of Israel to do. So get this. Rehoboam, once he fled that time, he decided he was going to bring together his forces and they were going to attack Israel. God told him, no, don't do that. This is all my will. This is happening the way I planned it to happen, that this separation happens. But get this, though. Jeroboam doing all that crazy mess. God sends a man of God to him. Say, listen, all this is about to change. God's going to raise up a kid, Josiah. Josiah's going to do so this and that. I don't even remember everything Josiah's supposed to do, guys. So please read the word yourself. Please. You're missing some stuff. I don't want to be the reason for it. I'm just giving you a little bit, a little taste. So anyway, this man basically tells him what God had said he was going to do. Tells him as proof he's going to rip this altar. And so Jeroboam doesn't like it. So he points at this man of God and says, seize him. When he did that, Jeroboam's hand dried up. Says it got paralyzed. And it stayed there. He couldn't even pull it back in. And so at that same time, the altar ripped, just as the man of God said what happened. And so Jeroboam, again, get this, guy, shows that he totally turned his back on God. He says, pray to your God that my hand is restored. Your God. Really? Really? Anyway, so yeah, man of God prays for Jeroboam. Now Jeroboam's hands get back to normal, and he's all happy now. Decided to invite the guy back to his palace. I'm going to give you gifts and everything. Man of God said, no, I need to go back to Judah. I was told not to eat here and go back a different way to Judah when I finish my message. So Jeroboam lets him go. Old prophet sons witnessed this whole thing. Go back to their dad and tell them what they witnessed. Old prophet's like, really? Saddle up my donkey. Let me go check out this guy. He goes to this man of God, invites this man to his home to eat. Man of God says, no, God told me not to rest here. I need to go back to Judah, and I need to go back a different way than the way I came. This old prophet says, oh, an angel visited me, says that I should feed you. Totally lied. Man of God totally believes it. Dude, God tell you to do something, and really? He changed up when he told you he changed up. Wouldn't he tell you? Not thinking, but hey, he didn't have any examples. We have examples not to do what this man is about to do. So this man of God goes back to this old prophet house. While he's sitting there eating his food, truly a God talks to the old prophet. Now, tells him this man's going to die. Old prophet tells this man what God told him. This man of God finishes eating, and I'm like, he finished eating? Dude, I would have lost my appetite. Anyway, he leaves, right? As this man of God is leaving, a lion attacks him. Old prophets hear about it. He goes retrieve the man's body, go and buries the man in his tomb, feeling all bad because, he brought this on this man. Tells his son when he dies he want to be buried right next to that man of God. But get this, he says, now I know for sure that he was a true man of God and that God is going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. Unbelievable. Guys, you guys better be careful what you listen and take and accept and take. I'm telling you. So, Jeroboam didn't listen. He still continued to do his bad stuff. Terrible stuff, right? So get this. Back with Rehoboam. Rehoboam, king over Judah. Children of Judah started doing bad stuff too, worshiping other idols, Asherah poles. What was that? Idols or Asherah poles under every green tree. Totally nothing like the way David was. Nothing like him. So it says here that Jeroboam's son gets sick. Sends his wife to talk to the prophet who told him that he was going to be king. Adonijah, I think his name was Adonijah, told his wife to go in disguise and talk to this prophet. Prophet now is old, can't see. God tells him, Jeroboam's wife is going to come to you and her son is sick and she's going to talk to you. This is what I want you to tell her. She comes, he hears her footsteps. Jeroboam's wife, come on in. Why are you in disguise? I'm the one who, he basically tells him, I'm the one who anointed you king of Israel. God told me to tell you this. Tell Jeroboam this. I raised you king from a commoner to king. And you have not been like my servant David. David did everything I told him to do. You haven't done none of that. You actually sinned against me and caused children of Israel to sin against me. I'm going to destroy your entire dynasty. I'm going to destroy every last one of your males, whether they are free or slave, whether they're in the city or not. If they're in the city, they're going to be eaten up by dogs. If they're in the field, they're going to be eaten up by vultures. There's only one person who's going to have a proper burial, and that's the son who you're coming to me about. But he's going to die too. Yeah. So she leaves, goes back home. So when she enters the city, boy dies. Her son dies. And yes, Israel mourned him. He had a proper burial. No one else of his generation did. Fast forward, Jeroboam dies. He reigned, I believe, 22 years. His son, Nadab, came up after him. Let's go back to Rehoboam. Yeah, Rehoboam didn't do a good job either. He didn't die. 5 years after he began to rule, Egypt king comes there. Aren't we family? Seriously? Weren't one of the wives of Solomon from Egypt? I'm just saying though. They attack Judah, right? Jerusalem, and they take gold. They steal from the temple. They steal those gold shields that Solomon had created. They stole. They attacked. Rehoboam replaces those. Later on, he replaces those gold shields with bronze. Anyway, yeah, that didn't work out well for them either. So Rehoboam, he reigned for about 17 years. And I believe his son came up, Abijam. You guys read this. These names I'm botching up, I already know. So anyway, read the word. And you guys are going to see a lot that's going on with that. What you really should see is God say, if you're obedient to me, I will bless you. When you turn your back on me, things happen. And guys, that's the most important thing. You got to see God want us to be obedient. And you see those children of Israel, children of Judah, start doing detestable things, serving other idols. And when they do that, bad things happen to them. And God is not pleased. He's allowing those things to happen. So you can look at that stuff and say, oh, well, that's life. But yeah, that's our life too. We're obedient to God. I'm not going to say all good things are going to happen, but you better believe when you're obedient to God, anything that happens to you, he's in there with you. And it's just something that he wanted to teach you about who he is. Remember, David went through a lot. Even though he was a man of God, he still went through a lot. But guess what? It turned out well for him in the end. He did. Now, when he stepped out of will, bad things happen. But you better believe, as we're going through this thing in life, God is training us to be the people he wants us to be. People of love, who love him, who will obey him, who will follow his decrees. And so, yeah, anything happen to you, don't let it be, bad thing happen to you, don't let it be because of your disobedience. At least if something goes on in your life that you didn't bring on yourself, that you know, oh, it's just a trial, I'll be okay. I'm just going to trust God. I'm going to get through this thing. Not these people here. They're doing detestable things. Bad things happen as a result of what they're doing. So yeah, guys, that was day number 107, 1 King, chapter 12, 13, and 14. You have a God-filled blessed day.